Ducks, baby Duck, Mr. No Ducks himself, Quack, Quack. Shout out to the flock, quote the Ducks nevermore. Hey man, I got a couple of days before some of these live events end, and I want to go on and get the rewards for them. So while I'm sitting up here grinding on Wwe2k26, y'all know the 2Pac murder trial started today. And if you didn't know, well, now you know. I've already listened to the opening statement from the prosecutors, and I'm in the middle of listening to the opening statement from the defense, man. So I'm going to take y'all on this journey with me. I'm going to try not to pause it too much, but I will be reacting to what I'm hearing. It's just crazy, man. 30 years later, man, and they still trying to figure this thing out, but it is what it is. Shout out to the people that's in the chat. If y'all make sure y'all leave some comments, let me know what y'all think about what you're hearing. Also, let me know what you think about what you're seeing on the screen as we get our grind on, man. So without further ado, I'm about to continue playing the opening statement from the defense. But watch this though.
Detective Bond doesn't even know that he had actually spoken to a task force the year before. How is that possible? Metro is the agency responsible for the investigation of 2Pac Shakur's murder, and they don't even know about this. No one in that room in 2008 told Detective Long or Metro what was going on. And you know who was in the room in 2008? You had FBI in the room. You had DEA in the room. You had LAPD in the room. You had the United States Attorney for the Central District of California in that room. And Detective Long does not know about any of that. What you will also learn is out of all those people in that room, not one person verifies what TPD tells them. That the FBI, the gold standard of investigation in our country, did not go out and follow up on what was said. Now, one of the things the state showed you was a picture of a car and indicated there was 4 individuals in that car. And he'd tell you that at some point, 3 of those individuals are dead, and Kipi's the only one that's remaining. But at the time that he gives his statement to the task force in 2008, there's another individual that's still alive. They never interviewed that individual to verify if that information was true. Why not? Because the FBI just fell asleep, that the LAPD just didn't care. Kipi was never charged for any of what he said during that time period. And it's because they knew he was full of crap. Otherwise they would have. Why wouldn't they? When Detective Long comes back to Las Vegas, he goes and he talks it over with the Clark County District Attorney's Office. You know what happened then? They didn't charge the case either. In 2009. Ask yourself the reason why that is. It's because they just didn't care about 2Pac Shakur or his life? Or is it because they looked into it and realized we can't verify this information, we don't believe this to be true? Why would the Clark County District Attorney's Office not charge him in 2009? Now, what facts do we get out of Detective Long based upon what he did for those 15 years? We don't have any facts. Outside of statements made allegedly by TPD and other people, we don't have anything to verify any of that information. Not one single thing to corroborate the statements made by that man in 2008 or 2009. Not only by Metro, but by the FBI, by LAPD, by the DEA, by the United States Attorney's Office. No one corroborates any of this. So, 2017 comes along, and an entity called the Center of Investigative Reporting, they file what's called a FOIA request with Metro. And what that means is, FOIA is the Freedom of Information Act. It allows or requires government agencies to give up information if you ask for it. That's the point. It's to be transparent. And people wanted to know what was going on with the murder files. This is 2017. This is years after any of the statements that were made and anything else. Where's the investigation? What's going on? Well, Metro said, no, we're not going to give it to you. So in 2018, the Senate turns around and files a lawsuit against Metro to force them to give them the file, to show them what work had you been doing over, at that particular point, I don't know, what's that, 20 years? That's when Detective Mogg enters the picture. What you will learn is that Detective Mogg basically says, I'm here just to close out the case. He's not here to solve the mystery of who killed 2Pac. So with everything you have in front of you that you're not hearing for the first time in terms of the statements that were made in 2008, 1998, 1990, whatever, Detective Mogg moves on and says, I'm just here to close out the case. That's his role. And what you're going to learn is Detective Mogg received a copy of what's called the Death Row Chronicles in 2018. It's not a deposition. It's not a testimony.
I'm gonna say this, man. 30 years later, it's diabolical, man. But hey, there is no time limit on justice in my mind. You did the crime, you should do the time, you should take accountability. Even if you don't get caught in the moment, even if it is 30 years later, I don't know if he did it or not, man. But listening to a lot of his interviews and statements that he made to the police over the years, man, it sounds like he gonna be convicted based off of his own words, man. So again, this is just day one. They said they really wasn't expecting for this trial to go on too long, maybe a couple of weeks, but you never know, man. Look at the Young Thug trial and some of these other rappers and hip hop artists trial they can last up to years, man. So we'll see. But yeah, 30 years is diabolical, man. That's diabolical. Let's get back into it. We'll watch this though.
When you received that copy of the interviews that the state has basically shown you in this case, no charges filed. Why? So, he writes a book, allegedly. Right? Allegedly, he writes this book called Conquering Legend in 2019. You know what happened to the book? Right? Even he confesses to it. What you find is, no charges filed. What is going on? District Attorney's Office doesn't want to charge the case. No charges filed when the interview happens. No charges are filed when the book is written. What is going on? 5 years goes by, and nothing is going on with the case. But Detective Mogg says he's closing it out. Detective Mogg turns around and applies for what's called a search warrant. Now, what a search warrant is that in July of 2023, around that time period, a search warrant requires a police officer to get permission from a judge to basically violate the sanctity and privacy of your home. Right? There's got to be legal reasons for it. He's got to go through that process, and he's got to ask permission from a judge in order for him to get that. And what he does in that search warrant application is he assures the judge, hey, what we are looking for is in the home. The thing that's going to help us solve this crime, who killed 2Pac, is in the home. And he signs an affidavit, and that's important. I want you to remember this. He signs an affidavit attesting to what he's saying to this judge to be true and correct. What he says is, I think we have evidence in KPD's home that will solve the murder of 2Pac. So up to this point, they got all these statements, they can't be corroborated. So now they're saying, we have evidence in this home that we think probably is in the home. And as a result, we're going to find this evidence. It's going to help us solve this case. What I'm going to tell you right now is that you don't find it. And in the meantime, Detective Mogg retires. He now becomes Mr. Mogg. And Mr. Mogg goes to the grand jury. And in the grand jury, it's a secret proceeding. We're not there, where the defense, isn't sitting like we are here. It's just the prosecutors. There's a they testify under oath. And there's really no way for the defense to challenge any of it because it's done in secret. We don't really know about it. But in this particular case, Mr. Mogg is sworn to testify truthfully. And you know what Mr. Mogg does? He just reads pages of the book. into the record. He doesn't do any more in terms of an investigation than read pages of a book into the record. He never documents in any of his efforts any verification of the book before he reads it into the record. He walks up, gets on the stand, and reads the book as if it's the gospel truth. And that's what he does. He treats that book like it's fact. Now, what you're going to find out about Mr. Mogg is that he never wrote a report. So when he took over the case in 2017, all the way up until when he retired in 2023 and was in front of the grand jury, he never wrote a report. Not one time. Not like Detective Becker, and not like Detective Long, and not like any other police officer who does their job. This man never writes a report. In fact, what happens is he transitions, right? He's a Metro detective, he retires, and then he gets a job working as an independent contractor for the district attorney's office as an investigator. And as an investigator, he doesn't have any police software. He continues to work as a lead detective on this case. Even though the procedure is you hand your file and your officer's report to the next detective in line. That's how this works. But he keeps the file for himself and he starts billing against the file after he retires as a detective in Metro. Because now he's an independent contractor. That's important to know. Why is that important? Because what the evidence is going to show you is that he backloaded his work. And when he finally writes a report, it's not an officer's report, it's an investigative report that spans from 2018 to current, and we just received it about 5 weeks ago. The importance of capturing everything you do, the accuracy that you would need to be able to be in court on a murder case, not some type of college paper that you forgot to do and then the last second just put something together and, get it out the door. Mr. Mogg does not do any of that. That's going to be important later for you to consider. Because according to that report that he submitted 5 weeks ago or so, he never verified the book. According to that report, he never investigated any of the alternate theories that were out there. You're going to hear about those alternate theories. There are people who have developed over time answers to the question, who did this and why? He never listened to any of it. Which I think, at the end of the day, don't you want to see what's out there to help you with your investigation? And according to his work, his report, he did more on the case after he became an investigator than he did before when he was a detective. What I'm going to tell you right now is what you're going to find when you listen to all the evidence, that his work was biased, sloppy, and incomplete. Those are the three things you're going to determine for Mr. Mogg. Now, because of the fact that in terms of the evidence itself, he doesn't have much, the state's going to lean pretty heavily on their witnesses. I'm going to give you a sampling of the type of people you're going to run across in this trial based upon their witness list in this case. First person is this guy named Reggie Wright Jr. He's remember, the security company for Death Row Records. And what he is a felon. Second of all, you're also going to find that he's a former Compton police officer. He worked for Compton PD for about 5 years, and apparently he got disabled. At some point, he becomes a felon. You're going to learn about that. And his father, like I said before earlier, Reggie Wright Sr. was the head of the Compton PD ambulance. What you're also going to learn about Reggie is that, once again, he was supposed to be protecting Suge Knight. Where was he the night of the shooting? In addition to that, he orders his security team to not carry firearms the night of the shooting, before the shooting took place. What you're also going to learn is, he wasn't even around when the shooting occurred. So the principal, meaning the person he should have been protecting the most, would have been Suge Knight, the head of Death Row Records. This man was nowhere to be found. He was sitting at a club called 662 down the street, waiting for Suge to show up, while he left his people that were working for him unarmed in the vehicles behind Suge Knight. And when push comes to shove, he orders his people to lie to the police during their investigation. That's going to be called by that. That guy's going to be called by that. In addition to that, when everything was said and done, Suge Knight goes to prison because he was not supposed to be in a fight in Las Vegas. He violates his release. Guess who takes over the Epic Records? Reggie. Now, the state is also going to bring in other people with unreliable positions, including criminal histories, financial motivations, and inconsistent statements. That are the people and the quality of the evidence that you're going to listen to in this case. Just to give you another example, there's going to be an individual by the name of Devonta Wwe2k26. Who is he? He's been a paid informant for years. You're going to hear that they have paid him to be an informant. He will, of course, say whatever he needs to say to avoid his own criminal actions, but his testimony will be inconsistent. And that's what you have to really rely on. What exactly is he going to say, and can you even believe it? In addition to that, you're also going to learn about a disgraced LAPD detective by the name of Greg Cady. The state told you about him. He wrote a book. He benefited off of what was happening with regards to Keezy. Now, Greg Cady, he stole the file. What you're going to learn is he actually stole the file. He took the 2Pac and the Biggie case files and walked out the door. This is an LAPD detective that they are using for one of the people that they're going to be focusing on to establish their case. He writes the book, and then he holds himself out as the person who solved the murder. That's Greg Cady. That's the LAPD detective. Now, what you're also going to learn is Greg Cady, when he was a detective with LAPD, was basically caught manipulating witnesses. And because he was caught manipulating witnesses, it led to cases being overturned as a result. There was a court finding on this issue. A judge determined that. And there we go. That's your Greg Cady. That's a witness in this case from that. Now, your challenges, right? I mean, things going on. But it's really time. Like, how do you, as jurors, try to figure out time on this case? There's been so much time. Delays. By who, though? And there's corruption. How do you look at your information that you're...
I said it again, 30 years, it's diabolical, man. Hey, get down. Yeah, 30 years is diabolical, man. I mean, who, man? What, 30 years ago, I was like 10, man. What 2Pac got killed? Yeah, I was like 10 years old. So. Yeah, but let's get back into it. Watch this, though.
Proceeding with anything more than just like skepticism. Like, you're gonna look at this stuff and you're like, well, I mean, you have a motive to lie. You have a motive to tell or deceive. And it's because at the end of the day, there's not actual facts. When you get past all the talk and me talking, just look at the actual facts. What facts do you have to support any of what KPD said in any of his interviews or in the book? When you look at this relevant timeline again, and you see the length of time, ask yourself, what facts do they have to even put KPD in a car in Las Vegas on September 7th, 1996? What facts? When you look at the video that happened at the MGM.
Now he's sitting there playing there. Like, we know he was in Las Vegas on that day. I mean, not only do we have the cameras and times and all that, he even admitted it. He admitted that he was there. He just said that he wasn't the one to actually pull the trigger. He said himself that he put the guns in the car that was used to kill 2Pac. Now, he said that, again, he wasn't the one to pull the trigger, but he had something to do with it. So that's out of his own mouth. So I get what he's saying. What evidence do the prosecutor have to confirm the stuff that Chief D said in those interviews and all that stuff? And maybe they do have some stuff to confirm that, but he said it himself. So he snitched on himself. So what? Word of mouth doesn't count now in court, even when the person who's being accused is saying that they did it too. Like, yeah, he kind of tripping now. But of course, when you're the defense man, you got to say and do whatever you can do to try to get your client off. It ain't about if your client did it or not. And you need to do your job and, of course, try to create some doubt in the mind of the jurors because it just take one juror. Out of all 12, it just take one, man. So, but what he just said, yeah, man, he tripping right there, bro. He tripping. Watch this, though.
Look, bro. Try to find me there. Try to find any of the other individuals. Remember, he said there's 3 individuals in the car with him and Orlando Anderson. Orlando's in the video because he's getting beat up. Find it.
What did Mr. say in that song? How y'all say y'all not gonna lock him up? And he said he did. Forget it. I get him. Be the person to deal with him. Hit him and spin him and rock it.
There's other individuals on the videos of the MGM. Look for evidence that shows that KPD was even at Las Vegas on the night of the fight. Receipts, credit cards, a picture of him standing next to somebody else, maybe watching the fight from another casino. Something. In the book, you're going to learn that Keefe says that he was at the fight. He was sitting on the second row. He was sitting with all the celebrities, and he's dressed in his finest gear. There's not one iota of proof that he was ever at that fight. But you know who just showed an iota of proof that he was at the fight? Suge Knight. Suge Knight was raided, and at some point, there is a ticket stub to that fight, the Tyson versus Sullivan fight with Suge Knight's possession.
Well, if any of this is true and what he's saying, we don't have evidence of him being there outside of his own testimony of being there. If that is the case, then why would he himself, unless he's just stupid, why would you say that you was in a place where Tupac got killed at, and at the same time admit to putting the guns in the cars that killed Tupac? Well, you got to be stupid, man. And I get it, clout and street fame and, trying to have a reputation on the streets. But when do you leave well enough alone? If you actually did murder somebody, don't you want to get away with it? Wouldn't you try to shut up and keep your mouth closed? Because y'all remember the person they tried to blame, one of the people they tried to blame it on, he ended up dying of AIDS. And from what they were saying, Keefe D went to him before he died and tried to get him to confess to the murders because he was already dying so that it can get took off his back all of these years. But then you go out and write a book and you go out and do podcasts and shows and you're talking about this stuff. You put yourself there. You put yourself in that situation. I don't understand that. But at the same time, I don't understand how people could be that old and still gang banging and all that stuff too. So they got to be a little slow. But now I hear him calling on the Lord, which ain't nothing wrong with that. It is kind of messed up that it takes for certain people to get in bad situations in order for them to even call on the Lord. But for me, I question the faith of people like that because you don't really, I'm not saying him, I'm just talking about in general. I be thinking people like that, they don't really care about the Lord, bro. And the Lord that you praying to is not even the Lord of the Bible. It's a God that you done made up in your head that you think he's some kind of genie that you can rub a bottle on, and when you're in trouble, you can now come to him and he's supposed to get you out of trouble or some stuff. Now, God is all for justice. Now, God forgive us to the fact that, so that we don't have to go to hell, but God is all for justice. God is for punishment. He wouldn't be a righteous judge if he wasn't for punishment. Like, for example, y'all remember Botham Jean, he got killed, and when his brother took the stand, his brother ended up hugging the person that killed his brother. And he said that he forgives them for what they did, but he still wants justice to be served. That person, Amber Geiger, should still go to jail because that's justice. He forgive her for what she did, but the judicial system should still do their job. Since she killed him, then y'all should give her time, and that's what they did. So, hey, God is all for justice, man. So don't walk around your whole life gang banging, being in the streets, hurting people, killing people, selling drugs to people, and then now you in trouble all of a sudden. You think that you can try to play on the heartstrings of God, man. So y'all tripping if you think you can get over on God. Now, anybody who's genuinely repenting from something that they did and genuinely doing a 180 and all that good stuff, hey, clap it up. Amen. See you. Shout out to my brother and sister in Christ. But y'all people who out here thinking that y'all can play God, man, that's a whole new type of diabolical.
Because he went to the fight. There's no evidence at all that fight, the Tyson versus Selden fight, with Suge Knight's possession. Because he went to the fight. And you would think, a fight like this, you want to show everyone that you were at the fight. There's no evidence at all that man was even at the fight. When you think fact versus fiction, really at the end of the day, what you're going to hear from witnesses that will testify to this is that TPD was known to do this. That's the testimony you're going to hear in this case. That's what you're going to hear about that man right there. And so you have to ask yourself questions. If I just say things, is that going to end up being one of those things where I'm going to be headed up for murder if I just keep repeating a fiction? I keep repeating that? The answer is no. You have to corroborate everything I say in order for it to be true. Otherwise, it's just that. And at the end of all the time we spent together,
it's going to be hard to get around that. I mean, he's trying, the lawyer, but it's going to be hard to get around his own testimony, man. And it's a little harder now because courts now allow the state and stuff to play music, to play interviews, to play videos, and a lot of these new hip hop artists and all that, they do that. They go commit a crime and then they rap about it in their songs. So him, like I say, he's trying to get around the fact that Keith D put himself there. He put himself there. He put himself in a situation, and now he's trying to say, well, Keefy D is a BSer. You know, he liked to stunt. You know what I'm saying? He got credit about stuff that he actually didn't do, and everybody know that he a stunner. That's pretty much what he's saying. Now, we don't know that he no stunner, man. True, him being the leader of his Crip gang in his city, that stuff is true. You know, hits that he say that he's done and other people say that he's done and all that stuff is true. Ain't nobody walking around playing with this dude like he no BS. I'm pretty sure if you're in the room with this dude and this dude tell you something that you don't want to hear, you probably gonna take it as the gospel. But hey, watch this though.
What you're going to find is that the state cannot prove to you beyond reasonable doubt the claim that he had anything to do with a first-degree murder with use of deadly weapon. There's no facts to that matter. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Sanders. At this time, are you prepared to proceed with your case in chief, or did you need a brief break?
Just need a break to bring the evidence in, so maybe give the jury a few minutes.
Sure, we can do that. All right, ladies and gentlemen, at this time, we are going to take a 15-minute break. During this recess, you are admonished not to talk or converse amongst yourselves or with anyone else on any subject connected to the trial.
All right, y'all, give me a second. I'm going to fast forward it. Got to catch up to when they came back into the courtroom. But yeah, man. Yeah, this is live in court. This is from the court. So yeah, this ain't no replay. I mean, this ain't from somebody else's channel or nothing like that. This is live in the court. All right, they back. Let's see what it's
So how you got? You do solemnly swear the testimony you're about to give in this action shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help you God. Will you be seated? May I please have you state and spell your first and last name for the record?
First name is Gary, Garrry. Last name is Dale, Dale.
Thank you, sir. Whenever you're ready, Mr. Jocko, you may proceed.
Thank you. Sir, back in September of 1996, how are you employed?
1996, bro. I cannot get over that. 30 years ago, man. Hey, 30 years is diabolical. Quote the duck, nevermore.
I was working for the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department at that time. And how long did you wind up working for Metro? 25 years total.
September 7th of 1996, what was your assignment?
I was assigned to a bike team on bicycles on the strip, Las Vegas Strip area.
Is the uniform similar to the ones they have today where you're wearing the yellow shirts, or you're wearing something different?
Yellow shirts and black pants.
Direct your attention to right around 11 p.m. What part of the strip were you working?
I was working the a little bit further south end, south of Flamingo.
Did you have a partner?
Yes, I did.
What was his name?
Richard Goldgart.
While you were working on that area of the strip, did you cause there to be some sort of car stop of a vehicle?
Yes, sir, I did.
And what was the purpose of stopping this vehicle?
I initiated a car stop on a black BMW that had no license plates.
May I approach you?
You may.
First, I'm going to show you what's on Oregon State Code Exhibits 1 and 2. Now, there's some obvious markings on here, but these appear to be two aerials of the Las Vegas Valley for generally around the time period of the 2096 area.
Yes, sir.
Accurately reflect kind of the locations that they're describing.
We made these last year, and now we want to make them again every year.
I'm so excited to be partnering with Dollar General again to show you our favorite back to school crackers. Head to Dollar General to pick up your
You back in it?
Any objection?
No objection.
So admitted. You may publish.
So to start with exhibit number 1, and right next to you, don't click it, but there is a mouse that you can roll around with a pointer. Can you generally tell me where this car stop occurred?
It won't work because you're doing it off of your computer.
I have it plugged in. This still works.
There it goes.
So it'll work.
Just trying to wrap around the boulevard here.
So if I told you that red dot's permanent lingo, or permanent and Las Vegas Boulevard.
Yes, sir. A car stop was right around, I believe it was right around this area.
So just south of Flamingo on Las Vegas.
Yes.
When you approached the vehicle, did you recognize the occupants?
No, I did not.
Why did you stop this vehicle?
It had no license plate on the back.
When you approached the vehicle, did the occupants communicate with you?
Yes.
And at that point, did you learn their identity?
They told me who they were, but just as identifying them, not.
Did you know them?
No,
They told you their names?
They told us their names because we asked them their names, but I didn't know. I had no knowledge of them before that. We ID'd them.
As you sit here today, do you recall who they were?
Yeah, 2Pac's and Marion Knight.
May I approach?
May.
Showing you grand jury exhibit number 3. Is that how the two of them appeared to look that evening when you approached them?
Yes.
In particular, Mr. Shakur is wearing or has on a very large gold necklace.
Yes.
Did you talk to him about that necklace?
Yeah, we talked to him for a few minutes out there, and I just remarked to him, "Wow, man, that's a huge piece of gold or something like that he had around his neck."
Would you describe your interaction with them as congenial?
Yes.
Okay. Did you ask them about the license plate, why their vehicle had no license plate?
Yes, I did.
And what was the response?
They stated that they were filming a video, so they had taken the license plate off because they were filming a video going up and down the strip.
Move to admit for each judge.
Any objection?
I'm sorry. No objection, Your Honor.
Admit, so admitted, you may publish.
And this large gold medallion is what we're talking about, correct?
Yes, sir.
How did that interaction with Mr. Knight and Mr. Shakur end?
We told them that they were going to have to put the plate back on their car, and we warned them and released them.
Did you remain down on the strip, in the strip area after they left that car stop?
Yes, sir.
Fast forward about, say, 10 minutes later, something unusual happened. What happened?
We were continuing riding on the strip area. We were heading southbound on the boulevard, and we heard some calls come out about a vehicle. Can't remember exactly what was said, but heading up towards Harmon, we saw the vehicle that had been described in the median of the road. It looked like it had ran up on the median and was stopped there in the middle of the boulevard.
What do you do when you see that?
We approached the vehicle.
Is it you and Mr. Goldberg or Officer Goldberg?
Officer Goldberg and I.
And do you see either of the two people that you saw earlier in the vehicle?
Yes.
And who is that?
Marion Knight was outside of the vehicle, walking around, talking, and 2Pac's was being removed by EMS people.
As Marion Knight is talking, do you recall anything he's saying?
He was telling us to take care of 2Pac's. He had Marion Knight had a chunk of shrapnel or something in his head. He was bleeding, and when I wanted to talk to him, he was adamant that we needed to go and care for Mr. Shakur.
Did you then go to Mr. Shakur?
Yes, I did.
And then what do you do? What's your responsibility as it relates to Mr. Shakur as the EMT's working on?
I was trying to talk to him to find out what had happened. Gather information to see who had fired at them.
Did you wind up riding anywhere with Mr. Shakur?
Yes, I rode to the hospital and the ambulance with him.
During that time period, between the time you get to Mr. Shakur and the time period he gets taken into the hospital, are you able to have any sort of communication with Mr. Shakur?
He was still talking, and I was trying to convince him to tell me the name of whoever his assailants were.
And did he ever respond?
Yes, he responded, no, we'll take care of it. So something like that.
No, we'll take
care of it, something like that.
And that's the only thing you were able to gather from Mr. Shakur.
Yeah, I couldn't get him to talk to me any further than that. That was repeated a couple of times.
Approach with a few photographs. So obviously, let me back up. When an incident like this happens, there's first responders, but then there is detectives, crime scene analysts, everybody who's called out. So,
yes, sir.
Showing you what's been marked as grand jury exhibit number 4. You recognize the individual who appears to be inside that vehicle at that time?
Dan Ford.
Do you know what he did for Metro?
At the time, he was a detective. I was not there when that photograph was taken. But at the time, he was a detective. I'm not sure what he was, homicide or general assignment or
maybe a crime scene
analyst. Yes, CSI.
And then I'm just going to show you a few other pictures of the vehicle itself. Showing you state proposed exhibits 5 through 8. Just flip through those.
Okay.
Is that how the vehicle appeared to you when you first arrived on scene? Obviously without people in it.
Right, on the scene of the, where it's stopped in the alarm on the boulevard.
Move to admit 5 through 8.
Any objection, Mr. Sam?
No objection, Your Honor.
So admitted, you may publish.
And then finally, while you were at UMC, did you collect some personal items off Mr. Shakur?
Yes.
Showing you what's been marked as state proposed exhibit number 33. You recognize that?
Yes.
What is it?
That's the objects I removed from
Gold chain we see in that photograph right there. The second time you came.
Audio may get a little low, y'all. My microphone
Was he wearing
just died, but I still got it playing in the background. So
you weren't able to recover that from him at the hospital?
No.
I'm just going to put up a few of these photographs.
Picture study noted 4 was held a minute.
Move to admit 4.
Any objection, Mr. Sam?
No objection.
So,
I'll give 4. That's Mr. Ford appearing like he's inside that vehicle. Okay. 5. Front of the vehicle? Yes. Yes. Sorry, she's typing down everything, so you gotta answer yes or no. That's the rear of the vehicle without the license plate still? Yes. Number 8 is the driver's side of the vehicle. Yes. And oops.
Mr. DeJacqua, 43 also. Which one?
There you go. 7. That is what the passenger side of that vehicle looks like. Yes. Finally, from you, 33. Those are the items that were collected off Mr. Sports. Yes. As Mr. Sam has requested, and I believe to also offer Dan Ford's CSA report.
That's it, man. Hey, I couldn't block, so that's it.
That'll be admitted via
Oh,
stipulation.
no, that ain't. Oh, kicked out in the last hour. Let's go.
I guess we could just make it next to the order, which I believe is 140.
All right, that'll be admitted via stipulation as 143.
Thank you.
No problem.
Please.
33 before this, yeah.
Come on, man.
Based upon that agreement,
This is
Well, they
33.
treat me like it ain't nothing, ain't they?
33 is also.
move to admit 33.
Any objection?
No objection either.
So admitted.
And based on that agreement that we've reached with Mr. Sam, I believe he has no objection to the rest of Mr. Ford's crime scene photographs.
When that purple on my head, I can't block. For those who don't play WWE 2K26. Okay, there we go. Now I can block.
32.
That's correct.
All right, 1932 will be admitted via stipulation. Make all those.
I'll pass the witness.
Okay.
You are Mr. Dale.
Yes.
Welcome back to the department.
Thanks.
So let me ask you this. So how long had you been working for Metro until you retired?
You close your door.
13 years.
I see. And at the time when you were on the bicycle on September 7th, 1996, how long had you been working for Metro at that point?
Yeah, I think I'm sorry. I thought that's what you asked to begin with. I started in '83, so it would have been right around 13 years.
I see. And obviously, when you are first a police officer, you go through an academy before you become an actual police officer.
Yes, sir.
And you learn.
Trick Williams looking to get things going here. What I like about Trick Williams is he's always ready to take his game to another level. He's got swagger, he's got skills, and he's got talent. All the tools a superstar destined for greatness needs to bring his ambitions into reality. Yeah, Trick Williams.
All right, y'all, we are back. Spoke the duck, never more.
You learn skills and techniques and things to help you become a successful police officer.
Yes.
One of those things I would imagine would be writing reports.
Yes.
Now, fair to say, though, in this particular case, what you had seen, what you had done was basically you saw a license plate that wasn't on a vehicle, you stopped them, you asked for their ID, and at some point you just allowed them to continue on their way.
Yes.
So there was no need to write a report about that?
No.
Okay. Did you write a report and with regards to that stop?
No.
Okay. Now, when you were present at the scene and you saw the vehicle stop, do you know if any other vehicles were behind it?
No, I did not see any other vehicles behind, so I don't know.
So there wasn't like a caravan or a line of vehicles behind the black BMW when you stopped the vehicle?
No.
Can you describe for us a little bit about what the area was like on the night of September 7th, 1996?
It was a pretty average night for the Strip as far as the amount of traffic flowing and things like that. Not particularly crowded or packed or anything like that. The area we stopped in had some lighting, but it wasn't like right in front of a hotel or something that cast a lot of lighting on the area or anything like that. Nothing out of the ordinary.
So there was nothing out of the ordinary as to that particular date and time in terms of any special events going on in Las Vegas at that particular time?
I'm sorry, there was always something going on the Strip, so I heard that things were going on that night, but I was really aware of them.
Were you ever aware that on that particular night there was a championship boxing match between Mike Tyson and Bruce Seldon that was being held at the MGM?
Yes.
All right. And I would venture to say that would be something that would have been briefed to all the police officers prior to you going on your shift for that night.
No, we didn't really talk about it.
All right. And then with regards to the amount of traffic, you're saying that even though this championship fight had taken place, in your opinion, there wasn't a lot of traffic on the Strip?
Not more than ordinary.
Okay. And when you say not more than ordinary, can you describe for us what that means exactly?
Well, the Strip is always pretty crowded, or was at that time, so that's why they had us out there on bicycles. It's because we could get in between and out of cars. So I guess when we conducted the car stop, there was enough traffic that we felt comfortable that he was going to have to stop and pull over. They wouldn't be able to just take off on us. Right? And that's the description I have. That's why we rode bikes out there. So, but there was always traffic in that area. It's always congested over there.
Okay, and that's probably the best way to put it, right? It's still congested for Las Vegas.
Yes.
But it's normal for Las Vegas to be congested.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So it wasn't like, for instance, I don't know if you were around Las Vegas in 2020 when you could just take your bicycle and just ride down Las Vegas Boulevard with like no one around, right? It's not that right. It's not like that. All right. And when you say congested, meaning that cars could not go very fast because there's always cars around in that area.
Yes.
Okay. Now, in addition to that, your testimony was that you had arrived on scene, and then at some point you're actually in the ambulance with Mr. Sherwood.
Yes.
Being transported to the hospital.
Yes.
And the hospital you were going to was UMC?
It was UMC.
Okay. Now, when a police officer first arrives on scene, is that police officer considered to be the primary officer until such time as they're relieved of that duty?
Ordinarily, yes.
Were you the primary officer at that particular scene? Were you the first officer on arrival?
I don't really remember. There were so many of us that showed up like at right around the same time. There's just a lot of officers showed up there pretty quickly.
Right. Now, I mean, you have a pretty clear memory of this. Did you review any records or have any meetings with the district attorney's office prior to your testimony here today?
Yes, I did. I reviewed the records.
Okay. And once again, you do that so it'll help you refresh your recollection as to what occurred 30 years ago.
Yes.
Okay. Even though this might be something that's unusual, right? Have a celebrity shot on the Strip, you still have to refresh your recollection in order for you to remember things.
Oh, you got it,
Yes.
And once again, you're doing that so you make sure that for this jury that you're accurate about what you recall 30 years ago.
Yes.
Okay. Now, in addition to that, you were shown a map, and I'm going to show you again here. This is State's Exhibit number 1. See this?
Yes.
Okay, can you tell me,
We got 30 minutes before Raw
this
come on.
map, do you know if this map was the actual map in 1996 of the Las Vegas area?
No,
Okay, you're smiling.
it's just a long time ago. It changes so much down there.
Yeah. So we know that this is a map of Las Vegas.
Yes.
But you cannot tell us, for instance, that this is 1996.
No, cannot tell that.
So, for instance, on the top over here, this doesn't look like the Sphere, does it? Does it?
No.
Okay, sorry. And then down over here, does this look like T-Mobile or anything like that, as far as you can tell?
No.
Okay. Now, and once again, I just want to make sure I'm clear with this for the jury. This particular map, as it sits here right now, as it's here, for instance, we have what looks like down here at the bottom. I'm pointing where the MGM label is right here. Do these look like walk bridges over the streets?
I can't really tell.
Let me just scroll here real quick. Does that help you?
Yeah, they do look like walkways.
And fair to say that those walk bridges in 1996, people were still walking on the streets, crossing like pedestrian crosswalks, right?
I'm trying to recall. I couldn't honestly recall.
Yeah,
I remember them taking the crosswalks out and putting those walkways in.
right.
I remember when they did that, but I don't remember the year they did it.
And once again, I'm not trying to. It's not a catch and moment.
No, I understand. Yeah, I understand what you're saying. I don't want to say something that I can't be sure of, but I remember when I was down there working, they no longer allowed traffic to cross on foot across the strip because of all of the accidents that we had. So they put those walkways in when I was still working.
Right. Okay. Now, and just finally here, with regards to the when you're riding on the strip and you're riding with your with the other person that's with you, you said at some point you were made aware that there was a shooting that occurred, and the radio traffic indicated that the vehicle he had stopped was potentially a vehicle that was being involved. Remember that line of questioning?
Yes.
Okay, can you tell us just really quickly here, based upon State Exhibit number 1, and once again, we're not looking at it in terms of an accurate 1996 view, but just in terms of the street. Tip off to wherever the vehicle was, and I'll just pull up here real quick. Thank you. Sure.
I couldn't really tell you where we were.
Come on, man.
My memory serves me, it was called out right around the same time as we were rolling up on that vehicle. There was shots fired call and vehicles involved, and then we rolled up and saw that vehicle in the middle of Harmon.
And when you rolled up and you saw the vehicle, can you tell us other vehicles there behind that vehicle? Were there any other, like the vehicle in its rod something, the black vehicle?
There were several people stopped all over the strip. It was cluttered with cars, so I couldn't tell you if they were with them or not.
Sure. Did other police officers aid in terms of securing the scene and making sure that anything of evidentiary value was going to be kept in that area?
Yes.
Because I would imagine it wasn't just you by yourself.
Right.
Partner, other officers arriving on scene would have started to help as a team.
Yes, sir.
Okay. I have no other questions. Thank you.
Any redirect examinations should be adjustments. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, do you have any questions for this witness? If you do, please raise your hand and I'll walk you through the process.
When they started doing
Seeing
that?
no hands, thank you so much for being with us, Mr. Dale. You are excused. Thank you.
When they started letting the jury ask the witness questions? I don't know.
This on scene calls Ingrid Stokes.
I must be behind on something.
Yes.
We got the second witness.
Ingrid Stokes, INGRIDSTOKES.
Thank you, ma'am. Whenever you're ready, Mr. Cole, you may proceed.
Thank you, Amber. Good morning, Ms. Stokes. Back in 1996, give me different
30 years ago, diabolical.
Okay, so you were by Ingrid Johnson back then? Is that a yes?
Yes.
Did you come to Las Vegas on the weekend of September 7th, 1996?
Yes.
Who'd you come with?
My best friend and some girlfriends.
Okay, can you tell me who they were?
Shalane, Tanisha, and Lauren.
And why'd you come to Las Vegas that weekend?
Well, when you live in LA, you go to Vegas all the time. It's just a party city. So we decided to go for the weekend. We were all off work. And so we went to come hang out, have fun.
And were you aware, well, first let me take a step back. So you guys were living in LA at the time?
Yes.
What part of LA?
I'm able to live at my dad's, which is Carson.
And then and you came out for the purposes of the party. Were you aware that there was a Mike Tyson fight that weekend?
Yes, that's one of the reasons. There was always a Mike Tyson fight. But we were coming because my friend knew one of the managers or coaches, I forget what they're called, and we had planned on going to the fight.
Did you end up going to the fight?
No.
What happened?
Women in the bathroom, 4 women in the bathroom did not work. We took too long. We missed the fight completely.
And so, where were you staying?
I believe we were at the Lexor, or the Rio, but I think it was the Lexor.
Okay. And then, did you ever actually make it to the MGM where the fight was?
We made it to the let out, is what I call it, because the fight was already over, so everyone was trying to come hang out. So we went to see what was going on for the night.
And did you hang out there for a while?
I don't remember, but it would have been enough time to run into a few friends and say hello and hang out, and maybe drink or two, maybe.
So, what did you do after hanging out at the MGM break?
Well, we had met one of my friends, and they had mentioned there was somewhere they were going to go. So we decided, okay, we'll go there first and see what's happening before we decide, we're going to end the night. So we all got back in the car, the rented car we took from LA, and drove.
And did you recall what kind of car that was?
It was a convertible Supreme.
And did all 4 of you go to the car?
Yes, all 4 of us were in the car.
And what happened once you guys started?
Loaded question. A lot happened. We got in the car. I believe we left the MGM parking lot, and then we went to the main street, Las Vegas Boulevard, I guess. And we were driving, and I believe we were, I don't know, about 10 minutes after leaving the parking lot, and then we ran into Chuck and 2Pac in the car.
And when you say you ran into them, what did that look like?
Well, we were driving, hanging out in the convertible, and my girlfriend Lauren at the time, she knew Suge, and she told us, "Hey, there's Suge. Pull up next to him. I'm gonna ask them what they're doing." And so Shalane was the driver. She slowed up close to me.
And so you said Shalane was the driver.
Yes.
Where were you?
I was the passenger. In front.
In the front passenger? So Shalane's driving, you're on the front passenger, and the other 2 women are in the back seat?
Yeah, Tanisha's behind me, and then Lauren is behind the driver.
After all these years, you still know?
Well, yeah. Some things you don't forget. That one.
And so then when you start driving, when you see Suge, and your friend starts talking to Suge, what happens?
What if creating your logo felt like math? With Design.com's AI, it does. Describe your vision, and in seconds,
pull up to the car, and we kind of nod or say hello, that kind of thing. But we were in our own little world. While she was talking to him, he said, "Hey, we're all going to the club. Why don't you follow us? Get behind us. You can go with us." And so that was, decided we'll go there first and see what's happening before we go anywhere else.
So do you follow, do you remember who's driving and who's in the passenger side?
Suge was driving, and 2Pac was in the passenger seat.
Right. Give us basic minutes to understand. Is this kind of the way they looked that night?
That was just like this.
And so, you decided to follow Suge and 2Pac to the club? Yes?
Yes, I'm sorry, yes.
Okay. And so, do you recall the name of that club?
6. It was the area code, so I remember it was 662 or 702, but now I know it's 662.
And then did you? What did you do? Did you guys start driving over to club?
We got behind them and we start driving down the Las Vegas Strip, and it was weird because there was a car behind us and they kept going around us trying to get in front of us. It happened quite often. It was really annoying. We didn't understand what was going on. And then at one point we were getting ready to turn to go on the main street. I guess Flamingo was on, or Flamingo, I think is what it's called. When we turned that way, I was like, what the heck's going on? People keep getting in front of us. I know how to get to the club. Let's figure out our own way. I can drive and we can meet them up there. And so our plan was to get out from behind them.
So you were confused about the way the cars were moving?
Yeah, I didn't understand what, in hindsight I know now, but I didn't understand there was entourage. I just thought, they were going to the club. We didn't think about it.
And then at some point on Flamingo, do you stop at the light?
Yeah, so when we get close to the light, I tell Shalane, pull over, I'll drive. I know where we're going. I've been there before. So we pull from around them, and then we stop at the light, and
because before this, before when you guys were stopped at the light, where is your car relative to Suge Knight's function?
So I believe there was 4 lanes, a turning lane, the lane next to it, the middle, and then there was one for like the outside lane. So they were on the 3rd lane, I believe, and when we got off the lane behind them, we got out and we went past. And I think we were a car or 2 on the 2nd lane from the light.
And so were you behind or in front of Suge Knight's?
We were in front.
So you're in the lane next over, a car, or maybe 2 in front.
Yeah.
Then while you're waiting at that light, does anything happen?
Well, me and Shalane were going to change seats.
One would think a global pop sensation, Zara Larsson, doesn't have to think about money.
Hello?
But we followed her for a week.
You did what?
In front of us so much. So me and Shalane were literally head down, taking our seatbelts off when we heard the gunshots. When it was all hills.
And to be fair, you didn't see those gunshots.
No.
And then what do you do when you hear the gunshots?
I freak out and I scream, what the hell? And then Shalane is kind of half up, half down. So I grab her head and bring her down. And I was like, what the hell's going on? And then she has her hand on the wheel, but she's like frozen. And so I don't remember how many gunshots there were, honestly. But I know I put the car on drive, and I told him to get the hell out of there and drive. And so I made him grab the wheel. Like I said, I'm very aggressive. And from that, she tried to drive off.
And then did you see the color of the vehicle?
Yeah, so we almost hit the car. When we were trying to drive off, there was a car in the lane, that last lane, that was the turning lane. And it was a white 4-door. I can't tell you what kind, but I just know it was like white-ish. And we almost hit him. We were trying to get away.
Were you trying to pursue the white car?
Yeah, I did that.
And then where did you guys go? Did you turn off? Did you turning off?
We turned the only way we could turn because it was a red light, which was down that first street past. And then we turned right. We were just driving fast. There still might be gunshots. I can't speak for most in the car, but it was a lot going on. There was a lot of adrenaline. And then the first street we saw that was on the left, I was like, turn left. And we just turned down a random street that had like apartments on it.
Now, did you, trying to say you didn't see who was in the car?
No, didn't look.
But did you go back to where the shooting occurred?
Yes, I did.
Were you nervous about talking about what happened?
I didn't think I had anything valuable to say, to be honest. So I wasn't nervous initially because I just was like, we came back because we wanted to know what happened. Because we left, so we didn't know. We didn't look around. We didn't see anything. We just left. And so when we came back, we saw there were a lot of police presence. And I wasn't a big fan of the police at the time. So I wanted to stop and talk to them and offer my help. But I also wanted to make sure if I could help, I would help. So when we went back, we told the officers we had been there with something.
Look at that boy outfit. Man, that boy clean, man. My own face on my own stuff, my own merchandise. Got the No Ducks cowboy. side punch show
So I
all
think
the way
they've been
back.
passing. So it was kind of an odd situation where they were like kind of rude to us, and then they're treating us like we're suspects. We really didn't know what happened. And so they said, well, we need you guys, you eyewitnesses, we need you guys to come downtown or in a van for you guys to come, and had us sit there. I kept asking a lot of questions, right? No answers.
Now, I noticed some of your friends are going to be here. Is there this fear about talking to this?
Absolutely, yes.
What?
Snitches, get saying, not the coolest, but yeah, talking to police is not a thing we do in our culture anyway in LA. It's not a normal thing. So there was that, especially in the 90s and 80s.
I'm going to try to get through this witness statement, and that's going to be it for me, y'all. Give me something to eat. Monday Night Raw about to come on in 15 minutes. So, yeah, about to go get me something to eat so I can sit up here and watch Raw, and I might just drop a review for y'all later on today. Well, let's see how far we can get into this witness. Hopefully we can get all the way through her testimony.
There was multiple reasons why, but I didn't see anything, so I was kind of limbo. I didn't see anything. I didn't think I'd be beneficial. And then, I don't know, I was going to offer some assistance, what I could, because I may have had more memory back then. I may have heard the number of gunshots. I may have had, more. But the police treated us so bad that I just we start shutting down. Because like if someone did it, they could come by and see us sitting on the ground. They can see we're sitting here telling people, even though we're not seeing anything. So this was a really bad situation.
And is it fair to say that that was something that also would scare you, is that if somebody was seeing you talk?
Absolutely.
Objection, honors the meeting.
What's your stop? What's your block?
I'm just following up my questions that she violated the foundation too.
I'll sustain if you could resist.
Is it fair or unfair to say that you are concerned about people seeing you talking to police?
Yes.
No further questions.
Cross-examination, Mr. Sanders.
Thank you, Honor. I'm in turn. Obviously, I would imagine you've never testified before about this particular situation.
No, I was in the grand jury.
Okay, so you were at the grand jury. And with regards to your testimony, you were in front of the grand jury. Did you meet with the district attorney's office prior to giving that testimony to the grand jury?
Not except outside the door when I got to the courts. I mean, in the door of the grand jury.
I see. And with regards to that testimony, did you review any documents, records, anything like that in preparation for your testimony in front of the grand jury?
No.
All right. Now, asking you again for today, did you review any documents in preparation for your testimony here in front of this jury?
I looked at the grand jury testimony that I said, but other than that.
Okay. Now, when this thing had occurred, I would imagine it would have been a very traumatic experience for you. And at some point, you go back to LA.
Yes.
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 That's all right. It's just for the record. When you go back to LA, did you ever just sort of keep on top of it, like in terms of like articles that have come out in magazines, anything like that at all?
No, we didn't talk about that night for days. We didn't talk about it.
Okay. Now, did you ever at any point capture what you had remembered in a journal or anything like that?
I did a documentary, a couple documentaries. Yes, 20 years later.
I see. And in preparation for those documentaries, what did you use to refresh your recollection back then?
Talk to my girlfriend. More talk and try to remember pieces that I could.
Right. And your girlfriend was also present at the scene when it happened?
Yes, she's driving.
I see. Now, just to describe us a little bit that night, you're driving in a convertible Sebring.
Yes.
And I'd assume that the top was parked down.
The top was down.
Okay. And the weather that night, was it raining?
No.
Can you describe for the jury what the weather was like that night?
It was Vegas in September. It probably, I'd be guessing, but I know what it was. It wasn't raining. It could have been a cloud in the sky, but I wouldn't remember that. No, it wasn't bad.
Yeah.
No, we didn't have any jackets. We had designer clothes. That's why I was mad I had to sit on the curb. But no, it was a nice full evening, so I would probably say in the 80s, 70s, 80s. I have no idea.
All right. But obviously, among the four girls, no jackets or anything that would indicate that it was cold that night.
Yes, no.
Okay. Now, in addition to that, your testimony was that you had pulled up alongside Suge Knight's vehicle. Right?
Yes.
Now, I noticed that you weren't given a map. Did you ever have an opportunity to kind of envision exactly where this had occurred?
I didn't forget that part.
Okay. If I were to show you a map, would you be able to point out for us exactly?
As much as I can, yes, absolutely.
Sure. I'm going to show you what's been marked in there. This states exhibit number 1.
He's looking prepared, looking hungry. That's what you like to see in a competitor.
And just for the record, I'm sure you see specifically one, just an overview of Las Vegas.
Y'all make sure y'all go check out 2JE over there on Twitch, man. Playing every game you can think of. Here go his character. Here go his entrance.
Can you? Yeah. Does that help you at all?
No, not really. But I see the streets. It's what I thought. I'm assuming the red dot is Vegas Boulevard.
And we say red dot. There's a mouse that's right there in front of you. You use that to sort of move that mouse over to where. No, that doesn't. That should.
I can point it, but
now let me just draw more computer thing. This looking here.
You can point it.
All right. So would it just be? I'm using my Sharpie. That's the dot.
Yes.
Okay. So yes, that would be Las Vegas Boulevard. Now I'm going to point over here. Do you recognize this?
Yeah, that's where it happened.
Okay, and this I'm pointing now once again for the record. Flamingo, and it looks like this would be Cobalt.
Cobalt, that sounds better.
Now, you were describing for us a little bit about where the cars were. If I were to give you a piece of paper, can you draw for us just a little bit better so we can have a better view? And
I can try.
Okay. You want a minute, Crow?
Yes. And what am I drawing exactly?
If you can draw for us where on that night where Koval was. And just for the record, you're writing Koval. Is it for the horizontal line or for?
It is the
Okay. So that's Koval. And then can you draw for us where Suge's vehicle was when you pulled up to it?
We were behind it.
Okay.
So it would have been, I'm just going to make lanes, and like, don't quote me, I could be off by one, of course. So I'll say this was Suge, and we were behind, so this was, I'm going to put I for me. And then we moved and went right here, so this is where we end up parking. I'm not parking, but I stopped at the red light.
That's fine. And just for the record, you have the mark that looks like an S. You know what
I ain't call all these dudes out here, I guess.
So that would be for Suge's vehicle?
Yes.
And then there's another I, it looks like right there, and that would be for your vehicle.
Yes.
And then you have an arrow pointing to the next lane over where the I is now.
Yes, that's right.
And then when the shots, when you're, I guess, trying to change seats, can you tell us where you were at that particular point?
You mean in the car?
Well, not in the car, but where the car was.
It was here when the shots happened. And when we were trying to get this lane to go around.
I see.
And that's what we ended up doing eventually.
I see. So when the shots were fired, you were still in that eye.
The eye, yes.
You pulled off onto Cobalt.
Yes.
Okay. Now this area right here, what is this? What street is that?
What do you mean? This Flamingo? No, this is Flamingo, I'm assuming. I'm guessing, like I said, I'm bad at direction. Place I still go today. And then here was like a gas station or something right there. And then here was where we turned off, right, which is where that first left was. So I don't know the name of the streets.
No problem. I'm not sure. Thank you so much. All right. If I didn't have this mark as the post fence.
Any objection?
No.
Oh.
Objection to submission.
No.
All right. So, would you want to publish?
I would like to publish.
Okay. Yes, please.
Thank you. Now, showing you what's been marked and admitted now is defense exhibit A. All right. And I'll just explain this to the jury again. So where you have Kobo is actually the street Kobo. Is that right?
Yes.
And you have Flamingo, which would be the other street that's going vertical down the Defense Exhibit A.
Yes.
And then on the corner, it would be one of the corners. There's a gas station.
Yes.
Now over here, this S, that would be what you would call a Suge Knight's vehicle.
Yes.
And you were directly behind that vehicle.
Yes.
And you pulled up, and that's the arrow pointing up to the next lane over, and that's where you were at, right next to Suge's vehicle.
In front of, not next to. That's why it's a little above.
I see. So you're slightly in front of Suge's vehicle. Was there another vehicle over here in front of Suge's vehicle?
I'm assuming yes, because we weren't at the front of the line. So yes, maybe two.
I see. Maybe two vehicles, but presuming that there would be at least a vehicle in front of Suge's vehicle.
At least two, I'd say, because there was one in front of me.
Okay. And then this lane over here is, what lane is that?
That's the small lane that you could turn off.
Turning lane?
Yeah, it didn't say, but yes.
Yeah. And so at some point when the shots were ringing out, you just immediately just gassed the car and made a right-hand turn on Kobo.
Yeah, into the turning lane.
Okay. And your testimony here right now, for instance, is that the top was down, but you didn't see...
No, I was looking down because I was initially changing my seat. So I would thank God I was all face down.
Okay. And when you pulled off and you made that right-hand turn, did anyone shoot at you?
Probably. I honestly don't know. There was a lot of gunshots.
Sure. Did any, after the event had occurred, did you ever observe any bullet holes in your vehicle?
There was no bullet holes in my vehicle.
Was there any shattered windshield as a result of, anything happening on the scene? And then with regards to where you were at, when your testimony was that you were talking to Suge. Suge was saying, hey, is that what was happening?
Yes.
And during that time period, you said, and I want to make sure I'm clear, that while there was a conversation about going over to Suge's place, but it seemed like everyone was sort of talking. Like it was like the girls in the backseat maybe were having a conversation or something.
No. Lauren was the only one talking to Suge because she's the only one who knew him.
I see.
So we were just like, oh, okay, looking like it wasn't our conversation.
Right. And when that was happening, did any of your people in your vehicle yell out, Tupac, anything like that?
Absolutely not.
Oh my gosh, it's Tupac.
No.
Okay. Now, during that time period, as you're over here behind Suge's vehicle or next to it, did you ever see, can you describe to me what Tupac was doing in the vehicle?
When we pulled up on the side of him and she was talking to Suge, he was relaxed, like sitting in the sitting in the passenger seat. And Suge was relaxed talking to Lauren. Nothing, like there was no engagement.
Okay, so as you're sitting there and you pull up, Tupac was not hanging out the window and doing something out of the window.
Absolutely no.
Okay. The torso was not sitting on top of the window yelling to his fans, Tupac.
No, there was no fans around. They were just driving in the car, listening to music like we were.
All right. And during that time period, when you were here during this time period, there's a red light.
Yes.
Preventing you from moving forward. And I'm, once again, going back to Defense Exhibit A, there's no green light allowing traffic to move in the direction of Kobo.
No.
Okay, so everyone was stopped at that period.
Everyone was stopped.
I have no further questions, John. Thank you, man.
Any redrafts? Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, any questions for this witness? We do have one. Okay, so what I'll need you to do is write your juror number on the question, and then write the question on a full sheet of paper, and then hand it to my marshal when you're done.
I don't know when they're started doing that, man.
Saving his partner in the nick of time. Goes into the corner. Oh, shifted that into a DDT. Oh, look at this. Just kicking the head. That's gonna hurt.
Any questions from anyone else? Perfect. Plan the party approach.
That's good.
Can you not, think about it?
Could you gauge what direction the shot? Okay, one question from our juror, could you gauge what direction the shot?
No.
No. Any thoughts?
Oh, sorry, I'm not saying it was too chaotic. Can you not, think about that, but no.
Okay. See, any follow-up based on that question?
No, Your Honor.
Defense, any follow-up based on that question?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Thank you. You are excused.
All right, y'all. All right. We done made it through jury number 2. I'm going to go on and let this match play out. Of course, I'm not playing. That's the AI playing. But yeah, based off of what we just heard today, man, nothing too major. I will say when it comes to the opening, it's kind of hard for the defense to try to say that the dude at least wasn't in the city, in the area, at the event and all that good stuff. I think they're really chasing, their own tail with trying to disprove that. Keefe D himself, like I said multiple times in interviews and different videos and even in the book that he wrote himself, he put himself there. So I think that's a given, man. They shouldn't be trying to argue from the standpoint of him not being there, which I understand why, but they should be, for the most part, trying to argue that he wasn't the killer, he wasn't the one that pulled the trigger, even though it was his nephew that they jumped on, his nephew that they beat up that night, and he was pissed off about it, so he got reason to be one of the people that was involved, even under his own testimony. Again, it was his nephew that got jumped on. He was the leader of the gang that he was a part of and had the means and the reason to do it. So I could see why the state feel the way that they feel and why this case is being presented the way that it is being presented. 30 years is still diabolical in my opinion, but justice do need to be served, man. And a lot of the witnesses and people around back then are dead, so we just gonna see how far this case goes, man. I'm interested in it. I can't promise y'all that I'm gonna be covering this whole thing on YouTube. I'm definitely gonna watch every day of the trial until the conclusion. That's something that I love doing, of course. I think it go along with debating. And y'all know I am a part of the debate world, so watching court cases, especially ones that I'm familiar with, and, celebrities and popular people, man, that's one of the things that I do outside of, watching wrestling and covering wrestling and doing Christian apologetics and all that good stuff, man. That's the thing. So, I might play the rest of the trial with y'all, but again, y'all don't hold me to that. So yeah, we're just gonna watch this match play out, and at the conclusion of this match, man, I'm gonna end this live. I am Mama Ducks, Baby Duck, Mr. No Ducks himself. Shout out to the flock, quote the Ducks, nevermore, man. So let's see who's gonna win this match. It look like me and 2JE is up right now. We got, who is that, Shawn Michaels? We got him red. Triple H just on yellow. 2JE hogging the whole match, man. He need to tag me in there. I am your daddy, bro. Tag your daddy in the match. I think I got a signature and a finisher. Yeah, let me in there. You know what I'm saying? Let's go on and get this thing over with so I can go and put something in my stomach. Raw, Monday Night Raw. Oh, it's on right now. It's 3 minutes in. I ain't tripping. I always like to watch it like 10, 15, 20 minutes after it start. So that way I can start from the beginning and I can fast forward it through the commercial. So I'm right on point. I'm right on time. You know what I'm saying? Getting that good food cooked for your boy so that your boy can have something to eat. You know what I'm saying? So come on, y'all. End this match, man. End this match.
Tag made. Double team coming from this duo. A big slam up to the second rope with a splash. Let's follow things up over the top with a double foot stomp. Is it enough to put Triple H away? It's the cover.
Well, let's go. Let's go. 2JE and nobody, another victory under our belt, man. But say I appreciate everybody that's in the chat. Shout out to the flock. Quote the duck, nevermore. I am Mama Ducks, Baby Duck, Mr. No Ducks himself, Quack, Quack, here to spread the good news to the worldwide wrestling community. I'll catch y'all in the next episode. Don't forget, y'all can hit me up, inbox me, email me now that YouTube have this new feature where you can reach out to people, even like a text message, DM type of ordeal. Don't be afraid to hook up with your boy. We got some new content coming soon, man. I've been getting a lot of new equipment when it comes to audio and video and all that stuff. I won't be going hard as much as I should until I get these angles and all this stuff set up consistently, because I do want to have my camera on every time I go live, and I want the pulpit to be right behind me, man, as I spread the good news. But until that happens, y'all will see me pop up here doing some live gameplay as well as covering some of the major headline news that I am into myself. So catch y'all in the next episode, man. Quote the duck, nevermore.